Greetings and welcome back to the Casual Wargamer. Today, in this video, we're going to look at the new detachment for Grotmas for the Agents of the Imperium, the Veiled Blade Elimination Force. This is a detachment for Imperial agents based primarily around the assassins. It's a bit of an odd one, and I'm not overly convinced. Personally, I think this might work in a small size game. You could probably try it at a higher point game, but I think the other detachments will work better. It's a little bit too specialized. But let's take a look and we'll see what I think and what you think. The detachment rule is called the Extremist Sanction. And Officio Assassinorum units from your army can use the Overkill, Soulless Horror, and Shield Break abilities twice per battle instead of once per battle, but no more than once in the same battle round. Okay, so they get to use their special rule twice per game. When mustering your army, each Officio Assassinorum unit for your army has the relevant Extremis ability on the right. Extremities are basically replacing enhancements. And you must pay the additional cost. If for some reason you can't do that, then you can't include the unit. Fair play. So instead of boosting a character, you boost the assassins. And that's it. It's pushing the fact that you will play there's no point playing this if you're not going to play at least 3 or 4 of the assassins, which is not something I'd really want to do in an Imperial Agents list. You want to pick 1 or 2, the ones you think are going to do the best job. You wouldn't, I don't think, field all 4, but you tell me. But let's take a look at these Extremis abilities. Because they range. You have decoy targets for 40 points for the Calidus Assassin, and this is a bit of an odd one. So twice per battle, in your movement phase, you can select one other friendly infantry model that is on the battlefield and not within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units. That selected model is destroyed, ignoring any rules that trigger when a model is destroyed, and this model is removed from the battlefield and set up again as close as possible to where that destroyed model was and not within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units. This cannot be used more than once in the same battle round. Okay, the idea being that you've grown a clone of them somewhere. Okay. So basically what you're saying is your Calidus Assassin sits at the back of the table. You have an infantry model. Now, bear in mind, this doesn't say it's a character. It says an infantry model. So you could have, say, a Sister of Battle squad, and you can kill off one of those infantry models and drop the assassin in as close as possible to it, but not in engagement range. So suddenly that person suddenly goes and pops into being the assassin, and the other one isn't the real assassin. Okay. I guess it's good for getting the Calidus where you want it, or as close to where you want it on the battlefield. But for 40 points, that seems really high. But okay, twice per battle, you can bounce one of your assassins around by killing off a almost random infantry model. Fair enough. It might work. Esoteric explosives for 40 points on the Colexus Assassin. Every time they use a grenade stratagem, they inflict a mortal wound on a 3-up rather than a 4. That's nice. No complaints. Intraneural biotech for 35 points. The Eversaw Assassin. Once per battle round, you can target this model with a heroic intervention or counter-offensive stratagem for 0 CP, and can do it even if that has already been used on a different unit this phase. Okay, that's quite nice. The Eversaw wants to get in there and do some damage. Let's go for it. And then micro melter rounds, and I like this one. I wish this was available normally. 45 points on the Vindicator Assassin. They gain the Exodus rifle gains anti-monster 4 and anti-vehicle 4. Okay, I'm not going to say no to that. The Vindicator is definitely my favourite assassin anyway, so it would probably always be included. Boom, Lovely jubbly. I just think that the decoy target one seems a bit weird. All right, it's getting you closer to the enemy where you want the Calidus, but it just seems a bit weird, and 40 points seems a little high for it. But hey ho. But the others seem all right. Then you've got your 6, I keep wanting to say detachments, stratagems. And again, I'm not overly impressed. Prime target. In your shooting or fight phase, you pick one agent of the Imperium unit that has not been selected to shoot or fight. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in that unit makes an attack that targets a character unit, you re-roll wound rolls of 1. If that attack is made by an Officio Assassinora model and targets the enemy warlord, you can re-roll the wound roll instead. Well, for one, it's very specific. To get the real benefit out of it, you've got to be using an assassin about their warlord. There are no special rules to do with killing off warlords. There's assassinate and that's it. And that can be any character. So it seems a bit odd to me. Great if you run into a unit and they've got a character and you want to kill it, then fine. But it's 1 CP that you could potentially be using better elsewhere on other stratagems. You tell me. Hyperstims, 2 CP for this one. I'm not sure it needs to be 2. In the opponent's shooting phase or fight phase after an enemy unit selected its targets, one agent of the Imperium's character from your unit from your army that was selected as a target of one or more attacks. Not enough commas. Until the end of the phase, add 1 to the toughness characteristics of models in your unit. In addition, if it is an Eversaw assassin unit, until the end of the phase, they get 4 up, feel no pain. Okay, with a normal character, an extra point of toughness probably isn't going to do an awful lot, depending on what's hitting them. For the Eversaw, a 4 up, feel no pain as well is really good. Maybe that should be like 1 CP if it's the normal character and 2 CP if it's an Eversaw assassin. It'd be interesting to see stratagems that did work that way with a higher cost if you chose the secondary ability. Will Sapping Salvo. In your shooting phase, one agent of the Imperium infantry units, which doesn't have to be an assassin. Until the end of the phase, ranged weapons gain sustained hits 1. In addition, if it is a Colexus assassin unit, until the end of the phase, the damage characteristic of ranged weapons becomes 3. Okay, so it's useful in both situations. I like this one. No complaints. Orbital Oversight for CP. In your opponent's shooting phase, just after an enemy unit has selected its targets, one agent of the Imperium infantry unit that has been selected as a target of one or more of those attacks. Until the end of the phase, your unit can only be selected as the target of a ranged attack if the attacking model is within 18 inches, or your unit has the lone operative ability, in which case the attacking model must be within 6. Okay, the idea of this is orbital ships are flooding the airwaves with static or what have you to sort of like throw off the enemy's approach or what have you. Yeah, it's nice if you want to keep something alive. No grumbles. Just seems a little odd. But I suppose in a way it stops someone bumping off your assassins a little too easily. You'd have to be within 6 because I think they're all blown off, aren't they? So, blind grenades. In your opponent's charge phase, just after an enemy unit is declared a charge, an agent of the Imperium unit with grenades or a Vindicator assassin, until the end of the phase, the opponent subtracts 1 from their charge rolls, or if you're a Vindicator, they subtract 2. Just smoke grenades, basically, that slows down the opponent's charge. Okay, that's quite nice. And lastly, you have Ensnaring Trap. At the end of your opponent's charge phase, this is a little bit of an odd one. End of your opponent's charge phase, one agent of the Imperium infantry unit that is within 6 of one or more enemy units and would be eligible to charge against one or more of those enemy units basically charges them without the benefit of any charge bonuses. In addition, if it is a Calidus assassin and it makes a charge move as a result of this stratagem until the end of the turn. Each time a model in the unit makes a melee attack, they get 1 to the wound roll. So it's an out of phase, out of turn charge. Have I read that? Am I reading that right? Okay, yeah, fine. Fair enough. You want to do that with the right units, that's probably quite good. Okay, that is the detachment. I'm not the only one, it seems, who feels this is a little bit lackluster. I see a lot of comments online where people are going that this is a bit naff and they're probably never going to use it. It's a little too focused on the assassins. I know that's the point of the detachment, but it would have been better if it focused on the army as a general and boosted the assassins in other ways. But this is all about, we've got my army, but I'm only really caring about 4 units. 4 models are over here. I can see why people aren't impressed. I personally think it would have been better to do it another way. So that's the Veiled Blade Elimination Force. It's not great. There's some nice abilities in there, but if they were things that could have been added to another detachment, fine. It's definite that the Imperium Imperial Agents book needed more than just the basic, fairly pointless naff detachments it got. But this could have been so much better. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Are you an Agents of the Imperium player? Do you like this? Don't like it? What would you change? How would you fix this? If you like it, tell me why. I'd be very interested. Drop your comments down below. And then thank you for watching. And if you would be very kind, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, and come back for my next video. I look forward to seeing you then. Take care. Good gaming.